you were influenced by the behavior therapy movement. Were you influenced by the behavior theorists or more by the technology of behavior therapy?
Well, I thought that learning theory was sort of a dead end because learning theory pretty much eschewed the black box. And but there were some people in psychology. One was Albert Ellis, who really looked at beliefs and thoughts. And then the other person was George Murphy, who wrote a book called The Psychology of Personal Constructs. So these, Ellis actually had come from the psychoanalytic movement, but George Kelly had come from the behavior therapy or the learning theory movement. But they both began to realize that you got to look at what's going on inside the patient's head, get at their feelings and thinking as well as their behavior. And however, I didn't discover them until I already had established a foothold in the cognitive camp. And then I was searching around for a name for the therapy. In my first two papers, I didn't use the word cognitive therapy. But one time I was telling somebody about this work I was doing. He says, what you're doing is really cognitive restructuring. So I said, aha, that's what I'm going to call it. Right.
And how about the neo-Freudians? Were you influenced by them?
Well, I was considered a neo-Freudian, so in between my sea change from being a psychoanalyst to being a neo-analyst to being a cognitive therapist, I became part of the Neo-Freudian movement, and I found that people like Adler and Rank and Horney in particular had a lot of very good ideas which I was able to incorporate into my own theory.